What up? It's your brother SamAnt. Hear it viral. Hip hop news. Do me a favor, family. Before we get started with the content, y'all know what to do. Go up top and hit that like button. Alright, so we're a couple days removed from Nipsey Hussle's homegoing celebration, a very emotional roller coaster if you've seen it, wherever you've seen it streaming. 2 weeks damn near tomorrow from his untimely death. Even though day by day it still feels like his energy is here, it's very strong. His music is still playing loudly. His name is still ringing bells as it definitely should. This brother made a huge impact on the world. That being said, you see a lot of artists, a lot of rappers, a lot of entertainers still speaking on Nipsey Hussle's legacy. One of those people being LA legend, former CEO of Death Row Records. That's right, even though he's sitting in jail, still has time to talk to TMZ. That would be Suge Knight, and he gave his thoughts on the late, great Nipsey Hussle's untimely death. This is what he had to say. A lot of artists like Nipsey have the same problem that I had, Knight said. Now, we are loyal to our neighborhood. Then went on to say that artists have the money and resources to move, but they end up staying where they came from because where we go around Hollywood, it's all watered down. Now, Knight admitted that he would often visit the old stomping grounds to get chili cheese, fries, and strawberries and talk to my little homies. Yet he says when one decides to go back to those neighborhoods to visit, those little homies are the ones you need to help you survive. Now, then Knight was insinuating that the people around Nipsey could have done more to protect him. Oh God, and I said that a lot on the podcast, asked that question, but never questioning the loyalty around him and his circle because you've seen how it hurt, you've seen how affected a lot of people were. But then Knight compared Nipsey to Tupac by saying, I feel that Nipsey was trying to follow the same Tupac manual to the community. He came together with YG like Snoop did with Pac. He hopes that Nipsey's legacy can unify Los Angeles in the years to come. He goes on to say what's good is that all the hoods are getting together now. We could be stronger considering what happens when we come together. Now, those are great words from a man sitting behind bars for a lot of wrong that he's done, for a lot of demons in his closet. But one cannot argue that Suge Knight has a lot of game out here and can offer a lot of game to people right now, maybe asking why. Now, me and Ogad talked on numerous occasions about whether or not you should leave your neighborhood, your own stomping grounds once you find success. And you can understand the situations and why you would want to leave because a lot of the people that you were around that didn't get out of the situations that you got out of and don't understand that you got the blessings that you got through hard work and why they don't. And that brings on a certain sense of jealousy and envy. We all know what can come behind that. It's real hard to watch a place that you grew up that was supposed to be your downfall, your end-all, be-all, and you raise out of that, not to want and have a responsibility to help those still there, still in need. And Nipsey was providing hope, he was providing opportunity. You started seeing the crime to go down, the drug rate go down, because you had people beginning to find jobs and economic opportunities to raise the community up. You put together Vector 9 and that STEM building that he had going on at Kenyatta Griggs, my brother from Hip Hop Motivation, talked about going and visiting Nipsey and providing entrepreneurs with opportunities to raise business or being aware of business. Man, this brother was on to some phenomenal things, what he was doing, and his death was untimely. Oh God, and I also talk about whether he was even more influential, dare we say, than a Tupac Shakur, given the fact that not only did he carry Tupac's legacy in his word, but he extended it in building the businesses, in building the brands. He was only 33 years old, 7 years older than Tupac was, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that. After Tupac died, and was only at the beginning of what he was doing. It's a terrible shame what happened. So I don't necessarily agree with what you got to leave your neighborhood per se, but you just at all times, even though that was probably just so routine to him. We talked to Riz, the brother that does More Malcolm, Less Martin, on the podcast yesterday live on the Uncensored Truth, and I'll drop a little bit of that commentary on the back end of this video. And he just talked about that. The brother had this routine that he probably did over and over and over again. It was so out of his mind or out of his just way of thinking that somebody was going to pull up to him at that place at that time and do what they did. So very unfortunate. We're all still questioning and asking ourselves why. but all you could do is just carry his legacy on and keep it moving. I'm going to give you a little bit of conversation from yesterday's live broadcast of the Uncensored True podcast from my brother, old guy at Hip Hop News Uncensored. And like I said, the man from behind the music, more Malcolm, less Martin, my man Riz from Atlantic City, talking about this situation in this music, man. So enjoy the commentary on the back end. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the movement. Check us out on the Uncensored Truth Podcast official channel. You see that link in the description box on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and all major online outlets. You also see that link in the description box. We appreciate each and every one of y'all support. I ain't gonna hold y'all any longer. Enjoy the commentary on the back end. This is Viral Hip Hop News. Appreciate each and every one of y'all, man. I'm out of here. Peace.
The puzzle, and it's just been a sad, especially if you ever lost somebody that was close to you in a manner like this, friend, anything. It kind of, I was saying, re-triggered that pain again. You kind of feel it again because what he meant. He was just a good dude. We hate for this to happen.
Fact.
Him. Well, what's next, man? You think for people, you're a rapper and whatnot. What would you, how would you suggest that people move, like going through these neighborhoods now? Because it's like you don't want to have to go out there and per se be strapped every time. I have to have security though.
Yeah, you don't even want to start shooting and not to cut you off. But you don't even want to have a situation escalate to a shooting that might, all because there's guns around. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, every time somebody passes in a violent manner, especially if you see it or hear about it or whatever, like it makes everybody feel a little bit unsafer. You know what I mean? So in turn, everybody's more on high alert. Therefore, so you're willing to react to anything. You know what I mean? Because you're thinking survival. You know what I mean? You've seen what can happen being good.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you're thinking survival. And I think that, we have us as a people and as the communities that we live in around this country and abroad, like we have some real deep rooted psychological, some type of issue that like we have to, we gotta, I don't know the solution, so it's hard even trying to explain it, but we have to do something to get, that's when people say get over a hump, we got like a fucking, excuse my language, we got like a mountain of something that we need to, when you think about that, man, you go in this, you're safer in a racist, damn near Ku Klux Klan brand neighborhood than you are walking in the wrong Black neighborhood and them not knowing who you are.
Yeah.
Niggas kill you just for coming around there and them not knowing who you are. Not knowing if you bring an opportunity, not knowing if you just lost. You know what I'm saying? We have something wrong with us that we need to get to the root of that problem. But we can look at each other as a brother or as not out of fear or not with that self-hate that I put up. This is on subject, but not off subject. This is off subject a little bit, but still on subject. I put up a post the other day that said, if we still had everybody that y'all killed, the victims and the ones who got convicted for the killings, period, we could have been changed the vote.
That's a fact. Think about it.
Think about that. We could have got any type of law. They talking about reparations, and like fuck all that. We could have had maybe Black Congress and Senate. You know what I'm saying? Or majority. You know what I'm saying? More Blacks on the Supreme Court. All types of shit. If we had the strength is in the numbers.
Yeah.
Every other culture knows that the strength is in the numbers. Every day we cutting our numbers down over bullshit and then complaining about all the bullshit that we don't get because we don't have the numbers to, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like a fucking, like a dog chasing his tail, bro. And I think it's a sick cycle out here.
That's another reason why, and I said this to you on off camera. I was like, man, this is way bigger than Pac and Big to me. I said, this is almost on a level, dare I say, of a Martin and a Malcolm of our generation. Because when you listen to everybody that's talking and everybody that's hurt right now and devastated, it's not about his music, man. You don't hear about Victory Lap. You don't hear about the mixtapes. You don't hear about his beginning. You don't hear about the Double XL magazine. You hear about him and what he was doing out here for his people, his how he was as a man, how he was as a protector to his woman. That's a strong motherfucker that you don't take away that easy. And dare I say that he's on that level, whether that may sound ignorant or premature now. Trust and believe when it's all said and done, he'll be renowned just as high. And because this is deeper than rap. I'm not sitting here mourning this brother, like you said, like a piece of you was taken. Like you said, we could feel this because it's kind of this hits home harder than it should. You know what I mean? This is on another level than rap.
Yeah.
So I want to just transition real quick after saying all that to the people in rap, because you're a rapper and you're in the industry. And we're not going to name any names, but there are people out here, unfortunately, that they're trying to, in a day and age where this is very easy to get a lot of attention from this. And a lot of notoriety from this unfortunate past. Now, we've seen the Kodak Black situation with the T.I. in the game, and we've seen a number of other people that we can kind of swoop into this conversation. What do you think about rappers? We won't put any names out there, but rappers in particular, kind of just taking it to the point where they're just going to use it to promote a platform. Do you think it's happening? Am I wrong for saying that?
I think that it's being. Not even just this. I think that it's like that's just like the new wave. I think that the bullshit is getting people's name, you know what I'm saying, trending or whatever the fuck the case may be. And from that, you know what I mean, it's singles coming behind it. You know what I mean? Like it's a fucked up time right now. And then with the guys that you mentioned earlier, I think that if you're in the industry and this industry problem or whatever, I think even behind the scenes, if the street dudes, you shouldn't go on social media for shit. You should never dispute with no, you know what I mean? Have no dispute with another man or whatever on social media, you know what I mean? I think you should be able to reach out or pull up or whatever the fuck else you want to do. But once you go on social media, it turns into like WWE or some bullshit. Like,
that's exactly what I said.
Crowd of people around now that's just instigating, throwing fuel on the fire. Now your pride and ego, even if you don't want to hurt this person or don't want to do something to this person, now you gotta now you're reacting for the fans, basically. You know what I mean? It's a sad day.
Definitely. So what's next, man? You know, when you your career in music, you know, to kind of transition over to that, man.
Kingpin.
Yes, sir. Yeah, talk about that, man. The project and everything, what you got coming out, and you know, and all that. Definitely.
They got the LP Kingpin coming out on platforms soon. iTunes, Spotify, you know, well, everywhere, basically. You know, executively produced by my dude J Dope. Production with my dude Rain, featuring Conway on the More Malcolm Les Martin joint. We got Ralph out there now in stores. Thank you for you guys promoting that record for me also.
Indeed.
And we just grinding, basically, like we always did. Music That Matters is the label, and basically what we're doing, we putting out music that matters to us, for people that like the music that we make, and it matters to them. You know what I mean?
Fact. But we after playing the record, a lot of people in our demographic is our age, so it was a breath of fresh air, especially amongst the music we hear in 2019. Now, just talk about your inspiration behind the music. We got a little bit of a sneak peek of the project, and we definitely appreciate that. So we already know the vibe that it's on, and it's dope. Get a little bit into the inspiration behind the album. Get a little bit behind why you were just going against the grain to where you hear nowadays. Did that worry you? Did that bother you, thinking that maybe you wouldn't get a certain demographic of listener, or that you wouldn't get a certain number or reach a certain height? Like, what was you thinking in doing this kind of project?
I mean, well, first you listen to the radio, you listen to everything that's out digitally, and when you're making the kind of music that we make, you know that we're in a total different pocket. But it's like, if everything is, you know, no disrespect to anybody, but if everything is auto-tuned and melody, rap now, or whatever, and that's what the youngsters are doing, and that's I'm cool with that. That's actually what I really listen to, you know what I'm saying, more than you can't find what we listen to. You find that kind of music more. Fucking, that's like car metaphor. That's like a highway being clogged up and then they having a open lane. Might be a slower lane, but it's wide. It's no traffic on it. You can just cruise on it. You know what I mean? I'd rather take the highway and cruise that's not crowded than to be, you know what I mean? And it stands out that way than to be, you know, trying to do what all the youngsters and what everybody else is doing at this time.
Right. Indeed. Well, project's dope.
I appreciate it.